Welcome to you and to the Monday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. Now, even if you're not mind ready to start the day, we come bearing all you might need to help you start it beautifully.
Even if you're not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. I had to do that, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes, after a weekend of so much activity and plenty to eat, we show up like your fitness instructors ready to give you guys the required push to get that dream buddy for the summer coming, you know. We're here to spur you guys on to, you know, direct your dreams in the right direction.
It's going to be an amazing hour, 45 minutes. But first, we have to thank you so much once again for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. How was your weekend? Was it good? Was it great?
Yeah, eventful. Eventful. Like a lot. I don't think I sat down once.
What's being Titi without an event, I guess.
Well,
in any case, hey, Mr. Mike Messicano looking good in brown. How's it going, man?
How's it go?
Brown coat boy. Heidi, good morning. It's great to be here this Monday morning. Well, March is already gone. But have you seen the Batman, by the way, Mazino?
I have not seen the Batman, but I've heard so much about it that I think I'm going to go see it today if I can get out of here before 2 p.m.
By the way, it is a sellout, so let's just move on.
Yeah, so when I am the only one that's watched a particular movie, I feel very proud of it. I feel like standing like a superhero.
Unfortunately, it's not a Friday, so we're not going to be talking about it. Yeah. Maybe come Friday, we will. But in any case, great things are about to unfurl for Wake Up Nigeria here. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. Please stream the show with us at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Also, please send in your comments using the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC and download the TVC app, okay, on both Android and on iOS, whichever side you stand.
Yeah, you need to catch up on any past content you've missed out on YouTube at TVC Entertainment, and you can catch up on all the great parts of the show.
Absolutely. Now, let's begin by telling you what we have coming on for today. We begin with some business discussion and also, well, hey, Sharif Badamosi, a learning and development professional with over 20 years experience in senior management and also executive roles, will be joining us to talk about the rationale behind budgeting.
You know, budgets used to give me headaches until I saw that I could save money with them.
Then, up next is a musical performance from promising act Adedakbo Aderele, popularly known as Sir Derek. He'll be joining us with some fine fire tunes. And finally, joining us to talk about her business on SME is Ifedayo Durosimi. Eti. Now, she's an author, entrepreneur, and young global leader who has broken several glass ceilings by being part of the Africa Startup Initiative. Well, we can't wait to have our discussion with her here on set.
Yeah.
The weekend. You wrote this weekend out.
Oh, you've been checking up on my Instagram.
Do I need to check out? I didn't check up. It's weekend. So I say, okay, but there's no road. If I... 8 out of 10 times I'll probably be right.
This is what happens. Just before a major trip, I have to recondition myself. So I have to take shorter trips just so I know exactly what my body's like, what the machine is like. So that was what I spent all 3 days of this weekend. 3 days. Yeah, I had a 3-day weekend riding, just trying to make sure that everything is in place because I'm setting off on tour again, perhaps the very next weekend.
I have to say, I do envy your
Don't envy,
ability.
just join. You can do it.
Nah.
You should.
Not on a motorbike.
Well, maybe even not on a motorbike. I've always said that Nigerians are professional when it comes to travel. They like to travel outside of Nigeria, and we don't know Nigeria as much as we should. So
I would like
preach,
to do some more trips
go out
within
and see Nigeria.
It's not on a bike.
It's not helping, Jare.
Yeah, well, I understand.
At all.
I understand.
So, they're asking for 500K now.
One thing I would like.
5 million.
500K.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Oh, really?
As well, yes.
Wow.
That's how bad it has gone to.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, yeah, someone's like, I was talking to someone over this weekend, and it was like, oh, his uncle, someone in the family, they started 1.5. And they're like, no, 700.
Wow.
That's why you knew that more. These guys, it has turned to crayfish and pepper.
Wow, that's sad to hear.
It is a scary one.
And guys don't look at
But I do hope, you know, that I'm able to show my kids more of Nigeria because I find Nigeria very beautiful. I've got so many great books, really great pictures of, you know, all the amazing sights that should be seen with your eyes, not just through pictures. And hopefully we'll have safe enough roads eventually to make that happen soon.
Hopefully. You didn't play football today. I was thinking that you were going to, over the weekend.
It's supposed to be next weekend, but because of some other things, man, I need to make it more regular. But yeah, football is becoming life when you have to play. And the older we get, I'm a proponent for the healthy lifestyle. Maybe not full year, but get your body moving, man. We're getting, for those of us that are getting close to 70, let's start. My sister's close to 90, so.
Oh, it's this week, by the way.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the news update on TVC, and we absolutely appreciate it. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's begin with reports making the rounds over the exoneration of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has denied these reports, indicating that Abba Kyari has been freed from facing criminal prosecution for alleged money laundering. In a statement by the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations Office of the AGF, and Minister of Justice Umaru Gwandu described the reports as false and that there appears to be misunderstanding regarding the issue. Now, according to the statement, the AGF only requested for further probe in relation to some aspects of investigation. Dr. Gwandu said that it was clear that the conclusion of the alleged contradiction was a clear case of misconception. The statement insists that no conclusion has been reached in the direction of absence of evidence relating to the first report. He also stated that the issues were raised for further investigation to arrive at an informed decision. And now to other stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has accused the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, and Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Inua, of misleading members of the public over the ongoing tests of suggested payments power platform, University Transparency Accounting System. Now, this is according to a statement signed by the President of the Union, Emmanuel Osadeke, on Sunday. The DG of NITDA had, after last week's Federal Executive Council meeting, said the University Transparency Accounting System that is used as developed by the union failed its integrity test. But Dasu says the tests were still ongoing and that UTAS had passed 529 out of 687 tests, representing 77% performance. The union warned that it would make public the reports of the two technical teams if the alleged misinformation continues. Let's take you outside Nigeria, where Ukrainian officials say dozens of people have been killed as Russian troops launched multiple air raids on a large Ukrainian military facility outside the western city of Lviv, near the Polish border. In what appeared to be the westernmost attack since Moscow launched its invasion, Ukraine says up to 30 Russian missiles were fired at a military training base, with at least 35 people killed and 134 others injured. The facility in Yavoriv is used for training with NATO instructors, and it's only about 15 miles from the border with Poland. In the wake of the attack on western Ukraine, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Sunday says that the U.S. will, quote, defend every inch of NATO territory.
The President has been clear repeatedly that the United States will work with our allies to defend every inch of NATO territory, and that means every inch. And if there is a military attack on NATO territory, it would cause the invocation of Article 5, and we would bring the full force of the NATO alliance to bear in responding to it. Look, all I will say is that if Russia attacks, fires upon, takes a shot at NATO territory, the NATO alliance would respond to that.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian police say a U.S. journalist working in Ukraine has been shot dead in the town of Irpin outside Kiev. 50-year-old Brent Renaud was a journalist and filmmaker who had previously worked for the New York Times. Kiev's police chief, Andrei Neftov, says he had been targeted by Russian soldiers. Now, two other journalists were injured and taken to hospital. Now, one of the injured journalists, Juan Arredondo, confirmed to a journalist that he was with Brent Renaud when they came under fire. It is the first reported death of a foreign journalist covering the war in Ukraine. And that does it for us on the news at this time. I'll be back on the other side of 8 with more stories. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to keep it here on TVC for the rest of Wake Up Nigeria. Good morning.
Many stories that you'll be waking up to in the dailies this morning. Let's take a look at some of them. You are welcome. Let's start with the Daily Independent this morning. And first headline that meets your eye: Nigeria loses 91.6 billion naira yearly to foreign airlines, multiple points. And we won't outsource our primary responsibilities, says Iraba. That on page 27. And of course, Gencos link poor electricity supply to inefficient grid management and strike. ASU tackle FG and over comments to UTAS. And we're working round the clock to end fuel scarcity, says the presidency, and mining firms owe FG 2.76 billion naira. At the bottom of the page here, NPLs may rise as CBN moratorium over COVID-19 ends. That's as much as we can take for the Daily Independent. Moving on now to the next paper, and that's the Daily Trust. Front page of the Daily Trust, this headline here: Osibanjo notifies Buhari of presidential ambition. Why VP shelved today's meeting with APC States Chairman and Tinubu's ambition. RCCG's memo puts Osibanjo in tight corner. Also another writer here: President not averse to VP's ambition. At the top of the page for the Daily Trust, Buni to preside over APC convention as bigwigs move to vacate court order, and imports mixed reactions as CBN banks ready for price verification system. At the bottom of the page, popular pastor arrested concealing illicit drugs at Lagos airport, and manufacturers lament as diesel hits 720 naira per litre. Once again, about the strike here, ASU may declare indefinite strike today, say officials, and I ran away from Arabic school for fear of Kubuku, says Osibanjo, or rather says Obasanjo. Very funny one there. Let's move on now to our next daily, and of course that will be the Punch newspaper for a Monday. Big headline: Buni may head APC convention, uncertainty surrounds zoning. And President asks Yobe governor to lead party to national summits, say source. And Adamu may lose out as party throws open chairman seat tussle. Osibanjo to meet state chairman ahead of presidential bid declaration. At the bottom of the page for the Punch newspaper, bakers threaten shutdown as diesel price and others soar. That's going to be bad for our gege bread. General Overseer heading for Kenyan Crusade arrested with cannabis in Lagos, and I fled Arabic school for fear of the cane. Once again, that is Obasanjo. Our final paper this morning: The Nation. APC chair pressure mounts on Buhari to drop Adamu. A writer here: El Rufai Masari off to London on consultation mission. Buni returns Wednesday with nod to take charge. A look at the photo story here. And there we can see some of the 301 Nigerians, including an infant, evacuated by the federal government from Ukraine via Budapest. Now, this is them going through their accreditation at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. And at the bottom of the page, IMF to help Nigeria, others on debt task, and man laments 720 naira per litre diesel price as aviation fuel hits 600 naira per litre. That's as much as we can take for the dailies. Thank you very much for joining us. You want to perhaps maybe say something about that? Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. Welcome back. It's time for What's Up and About. And over the weekend, we had a couple of trending topics and stories and stuff like that. I want to start by reading this tweet here. Yes, we have Twitter now. And this is from a lady. Her name is Renee, and she says, I have this friend who sends me money regularly, minimum 2 million now.
Supposedly a colleague, right?
Yeah.
She's a media person.
She says minimum 2 million naira. Last time I asked him to teach me how to make money, he laughed it off and sent me more money. He sent me 7 million before, and he's just my friend. Should I keep asking or just leave him alone? It continues. This is the thing. I'm no longer satisfied with bare minimum.
Wow.
Let me underline that. I want to learn how to fish big time. I want to be rich. This level no longer serves me, so I need to learn how to make this kind of money I want to spend. ASAP, I'm looking into stocks and project management. Nice one. And that tweet, the initial one, got 2,000 retweets, quoted tweets, and over 2,000 retweets, and 7,792 likes as we speak. Now, the thing is this. First of all, I did not know when 2 million naira became bare minimum. And I don't know whether this is a habit that is something that people should condone.
Wait, who is the person with the habit? The guy sending the money? No, she's not the one with the habit. She's not the one with the habit. It's the guy that has the habit. He has a bad habit of assuming that that is all the woman needs.
Mike, apparently it is us that our head is not
no,
correct.
No, he's assuming that money is enough. She just broke it down.
At the end of the year,
money is the bare minimum a man can give me that will satisfy me. That is the bare minimum. That is nowhere near half enough for me. That's me. I'm talking about me.
I'm shook.
And honestly, that tweet could have been me.
Guy, you are shook. I am choked.
Why would you assume that 7 million naira is enough?
Wait, this is somebody she
satisfy a
is
woman?
not married to. Somebody she claims and obviously says is just a friend, no strings attached. Sending
he's
you
sending money.
2 million and it is not enough for you.
No.
He sent you 7 million before. Now you want to be able to fish.
She just broke it down for you. She wants to learn how to fish. She wants to learn how to be wealthy.
I think
Are you kidding?
why the reason why it is trending is that a lot of people don't believe her, and for right reasons. The burden of proof is on her. That's number one. So what happens is that I don't think she's the issue here. It's just bringing the topic into the discourse. The topic of women solely depending on men.
Oh yeah.
Do you understand? And if you really wanted to learn how to, if you have access to the bare minimum and you really wanted to learn,
You would have made something out of it already.
made something happen. And let me be very factual. From the two options she mentioned, those are very, very long-term ventures.
Okay.
They're quite long-term ventures, and it's not the kind of thing that you'd expect somebody to just jump into. Like if that situation was true, she's just playing around.
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
I believe so too.
You know?
You can
but she's not her. I don't want to debate her. That's my point. Is I want to debate the culture. So I don't think
the culture of
issue-
what? The culture
You
of
understand?
men offering women money, or the culture of women receiving it? They're
Women
two
being
different-
dependent on that.
I don't know if she's dependent on it
Well, it
anymore.
would seem so because she says it's not enough,
She's
and that's perhaps
saying-
what she's been living on.
So
I
that's
don't
not
know.
a dependency issue. That is asking for more. She's requesting
Let me tell you a story.
for more.
A couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine from past, from like over what, 15 years ago, sends me a message. She says to me, hey, I'm in a fix. I really need your help. And I'm like, fine, I'm going to call you tomorrow. I call her the very next day. She didn't pick up. Okay, it's fine. She sends me a message. She says, oh, I missed your call. And I say, okay, fine, I'm going to call you the very next day after
Okay,
that.
and she
I
didn't.
absolutely forgot to call.
Okay.
Now, the message I got from after was heart-wrenching because she said to me that you are a man without a soul.
Really?
She said. Now, that kind of like shook me because I thought to myself, okay, it wasn't like as if I wasn't ready to help. In fact, I wanted to know what the conditions
issue was.
were and then perhaps maybe offer some assistance if I could. But human nature, things happen. We're no longer friends from 15 years ago or 10 years ago. I have other things that take my attention. I'm a family man now, so you wouldn't be top of my mind. So it's okay if I forget. I would like to forgive myself for forgetting to call you back. Does that give you the right of entitlement to send a message and say to me that, oh, you're without a soul because I could not help you out? Why are, and I don't want to say women, why are people so entitled over other people's perceived wealth?
Okay,
Where's your
I
soul?
hear you.
I
hear you on that. I hear you on that. But this is a completely different. I feel like this is
Oh
a
no, it's
completely
the same
different.
thing because
no,
it's
no.
entitlement here. Everybody
But
seems
let me see
to-
your
I don't
face. You have
think.
no
I don't
soul.
think. So I wanted to touch on what Mike said about long-term investments and things like that. We're going to have a financial advisor come in. You can jump into stocks and bonds. You can jump
I
into
think
the- There
that's-
are enough YouTube videos, YouTube universities there.
I
There's
almost
so
called
much
you Rain now.
There's a lot of information
I don't think that's the
online.
subject.
Yeah.
That's not the
Calm
subject,
down.
but I understand what
I
you're
said
saying.
I'm touching on what Mike said. You're saying the long-term investment. She said she wants to be wealthy.
No, that's
she doesn't want to just be rich.
Look,
Do you understand?
So I'm not. Well, I'm not. In case of she said she's not the issue. That's what
No.
he's trying to
wow.
say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he's saying
So
she
what
said, I
is
should
the
say.
issue?
I put up a post where someone else, another young lady goes like, oh, I love this, I love that, I love being a baby girl, blah, blah, blah. I will spoil you, but with your money. And then you see the whole girls, tell
that's
them,
exactly.
give them, and all of that. It has gone past the point where you are just being a dependent. If you are going to be in some sort of a relationship with somebody, look, man, the minimum we ask for is for both of us to contribute to it. That's the minimum.
Exactly.
That's the minimum. You can't tell me you want to spoil with my money. Spoil, kill you there.
Narf.
I do believe this conversation is going to continue when the other ladies are in the house. I don't think
It's not a
I don't
battle
think
of the
this conversation is
sexes.
balanced
No.
in
That's
any
not.
way
Don't make it
whatsoever.
sound so. Titi, I disagree. I disagree.
So do I. Let's
I
agree
disagree.
to disagree, shall we?
Mazilu, where's your soul?
Is it
Let's
my
take a
heart?
break, guys. Hello and welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria Kitchen. Our chef has been hard at work putting together some amazing, colorful ingredients, and we're about to get to work. What are we making this morning, chef?
I'm making stir-fried garden egg stir-fried spaghetti.
Okay, garden egg,
Yes.
stir-fried spaghetti. Okay, so I think we need to go over these ingredients because, first of all, we've heard garden egg, we've heard spaghetti, but there's a lot of other things right here that you're going to be adding to this dish. Let's see if we can go over them one by one.
Okay, so here I have my parboiled spaghetti.
Okay.
I have my mashed garden egg. I have the shredded bell pepper, cucumber, carrots.
Okay.
I have seasoning cubes,
Yeah.
salt,
All right.
beef, pepper mix, and sausage.
All right. So I can see that you've parboiled the garden egg.
Yeah.
What else did you do to the garden egg? Did you add any spice? Did you add anything to it?
No. Just boiled and mashed.
Boiled and mashed.
Yes.
How long
And
did
you
it
can also
take
blend.
to get it this soft?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Just okay.
Okay. And it was easy to mash?
Yes, but you can blend it.
All right. Fantastic. Now, the carrots, they look a different shade of orange. Did you parboil these as well?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Did you add anything to that, Eva?
No, nothing.
All right. So let's talk about the beef here. It looks spiced, but it also looks cooked. What happened with the beef here?
So it's already shredded and
Okay.
fried.
Fried. Okay, so it was boiled, fried, shredded. Have you added some spices to it?
Yes, we
Which
have
ones?
soya pepper.
Oh, okay. So yaji pepper.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. So I can see some other key spices here.
Yeah. So this is the garden egg that
Okay.
was
Shredded.
was mashed, and then we have the garlic. We have the ginger, the bay leaf, the cucumber that was shredded. Then we have this is the combination of the pepper mix that we have.
So this ginger here is where right now? You mixed it with the pepper.
Yes, with the pepper.
So tomatoes, pepper.
Yeah.
No,
garlic and ginger mixed in pepper mix.
Okay, fantastic. So this pepper mix, is it completely fresh or it's been boiled down as well?
It's peppered.
Boiled down. So there's been a lot of prep happening here.
prepared.
This is all
Just
pre-prep.
purposely for this.
Fantastic, fantastic. So our next move would be to give you the ingredients. Those are the ingredients on your screen right now. And as long as you have all these ingredients ready, you're going to have an amazing time in the kitchen putting together garden egg stir-fry spaghetti. Thank you so much for coming to show us this. I think we need a pan or two right now. All right? Let's
The
see.
5 pounds. Okay.
Okay, we have them all here ready. All right, let's go. What's the first thing we need to do to
need
get
to
this
on
ready? Yeah, of course, of course. We're putting on the cooker right now. But we're stir frying. But what do we begin with?
We are going first with the oil.
First with the oil.
Yeah.
Straight into the pan. Let's use one of these. Let's use one of these.
I'm using, I have to use that for stir frying.
You want to use this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. No problem. Let's.
So we are
go.
stir frying the vegetables first.
This vegetable oil, there's nothing special about it. Just plain vegetable oil, yes?
Yeah, it's cholesterol free.
Okay,
It's very
cholesterol
good,
free.
yeah.
All right then. So while we're waiting for the pan to heat up, let's go over the process that we're going to take
Okay, the first
today.
thing we are going to do is to, warm the oil with
Okay.
the onions and
The garlic.
garlic.
Okay.
That's optional because the garlic is already in the pepper mix and we don't want too much of it.
Okay.
So you can warm it with bay leaf.
Okay.
And
You mean the oil?
Yes.
Oh, really?
You warm the oil with bay leaf or onions.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're
that's
still
fine.
standing by for the pan to heat up a little bit, but we already have most of our ingredients pre-prepped. Those are the ingredients one more time on your screen. Hopefully, you're able to follow us along with the process. Just make sure you pre-prep everything. You might already have some of these left over in your kitchen. It's going to be one of those meals that you put together with leftovers.
Fast.
Yeah, really fast, right?
Fast.
Okay, everybody has some spaghetti from, that bottom pot spaghetti. You don't want to waste it. You want to make something with it. And that's what we're here to do today. We have quite a lot of work to do here, just waiting for the pan to be the right temperature before we throw the oil in. And now Mazino is going to be having a conversation on finance with one of my favorite people. It's all yours.
Yes, indeed, it's our motivation segment, but only this time a bit advisory, as we have a very interesting discussant here with us. Let's talk business discussion, and Sharif Badamosi is here with us. He's a learning and development professional with over 20 years experience in senior management and executive roles. He'll be joining us right now, and let's talk about the rationale behind budgeting. Now, you're welcome. It's good to have you here. Just before we started, Mike asked me if I budget, and I said heavily.
And
I'd like to give him the details of how well I budget. It's not just a mental thing. It's actually on paper. It's scheduled into some worksheet that I have for every single income. But we'll talk more about it. But tell us exactly this rationale. Is it something everybody should have? Or?
It's everybody. Let me draw inferences from something. If you were going to start a business, they will tell you to have a plan of that business. Where do you want your business to go? What kind of budgets you would need, or what kind of income you would need, how you want to structure the business, whether you need a premises or you want to do it online. All these different things require a plan. If you wanted to get financing, the bank will tell you what are your plans for your business in the next 5-10 years, you know, so that you can show exactly whether the business is going to be profitable or not, or the business is going to survive or not. All these things. So take that to money now. You know, there's a general saying that says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, and that applies to absolutely everything with regards to your money. It is very, very important. And as you said, very, very also important is not to have just a mental assent as to how you plan your money, but it has to be written down. Because another philosophy I live by is, if you never want to have to remember anything, write it down.
Write it down, that's true. Now, in budgeting, we're all human beings. We have our excesses, and some of them are luxurious. Where does luxury fall in?
Oh, it does. It does.
And to what percentage would you advise?
It's relative. Each individual is different. We all have lifestyles. In fact, let me even ask you a question. If I was to ask you, everybody has a lifestyle. What is the cost of your lifestyle on a monthly basis? Do you have a number?
The cost of my lifestyle, I do have a number, but I don't want to share.
No, you don't.
I have a specific number, actually.
Exactly.
And inside of that is collated expenses for upkeep and all of that. Every detail. And luxury.
And luxury, thank you. But because that's the lifestyle you've chosen for yourself, everything that happens in our life, you have to fund it. So the question, and also contingencies, things that are unplanned. You know, this is Lagos. Things happen. Something might happen on the road. You have to fork out some money and you didn't plan to do it. So even with that, you're planning that within the budget. Now imagine if you don't have a plan and you just have your income, you don't know where your money is going. What you have is chaos. And when you have chaos, nothing works. It's completely impossible. So a lot of people will tell you, yeah, I have a budget. I know how much I spend. But they end up with a zero balance at the end of the month. Realistically, if you have a budget, you should end up with some surplus, some form of savings.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's pretty much one of the very important things about how.
So what are the ratios you would advise? And don't say relative. Now give us some real ratios now.
Okay.
Say how much you should use for upkeep, how much you should use for savings. What should it be? Because I know something, and I've lived by this 60-40 percentage for the longest time, and it's worked out. But I don't know if that has changed, especially with the way we see the economy now. Let's bring it home to the Nigerian instance here.
Yeah. Well, generally what I do now, it's very difficult not to say relative because everybody's lifestyle is different. But what I tend to use is whatever income I get, I first take maybe a 10 or 20% and I stick it in savings. I feel you need to save first before you spend. Then you tailor your lifestyle to what you have kept back after your savings has been extracted. Because if you save on the back end, you probably won't have anything left to save. The demands of the country, world, your lifestyle would put a real big damper on whatever income you have. So what you tend to do is I first extract 10 up to 20%. If you want to be modest and you want to give yourself a little bit more, do 10%. It's still good. Keep that in the savings. Then remaining 90%, I would say for your expenses, you really should not do more than 60. I would prefer 50, right? Then you have 40% remaining, and that one, you try and find some form of, because you have your wants, your needs, your obligations.
Yeah.
Now, your obligations are things that you have.
Family.
Yeah. But, you know, everybody's obligations are different. You can choose, I'm going to take care of this uncle, where in my case, I would say no, because everybody is different in their choices. Your needs are, you need to have a roof over your head.
Definitely.
You need to pay for your electricity bills, or you're not going to have any electricity. You need to pay for gas, or you can't have any food. You can't cook any food at home. And things like that. Your children's school fees, depending on where you are at this moment in time. Then your wants are the good things you want. The luxury is what we're talking about. You can plan for that as well. And you say, okay, maybe this month I want to give myself 10,000 naira in good things, right? You don't know what it is, but you just put that aside and say, this is it. And again, it's all tied to your income. Income, lifestyle. Can that lifestyle be funded by this income after I extract 10% from it? If not, then you need to downgrade that lifestyle. It's a bit difficult for a lot of people.
It is very difficult for Nigerians, especially that we live on Instagram now and we want to show off the finer things of life. So that's something to consider.
Absolutely.
That people are chasing, what's that? How did he put that thing again? Chasing something that's not real.
Chasing the wind?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but now, you talked about 10% for savings. Last week we talked about inflation. Now, saving your money these days, is it the best advice that you can give to people?
No. No, savings account actually gives you, I think it's 0.05% interest.
There you go.
So banks, keep your money in the bank. Every day, I have money in the bank, and today I'm even cringing because I'm looking for somewhere to put it in an investment that can give me some form of returns. Now, inflation at the moment is about 16%. It might go down to 13.10 based on projections. However, if I'm looking for an investment today that can give me a 13 to 16% return, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So I did a talk a few days ago, and someone said real estate. Yeah, but real estate is good. But however, pulling out of real estate is not
real
easy.
difficult. Yeah.
So if you need your cash tomorrow, except you're having a distressed sale, it's not a worthwhile investment. So you're looking at money market instruments. You're looking at things that can give you some form of return in a year that is up to or somewhere that can clear that inflation trap.
Yeah.
So even if you can get 6-7% is a start, but I would say go for a basket. Don't just go for one instrument. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Spread it.
Spread it. Okay. Spread it. So you can do some real estate. You can do some, you know.
So now when we put away that 10% as our savings, or maybe want to invest it in something, cool. But is savings, is that 10% the same as our contingency plan?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
you need to make that clear.
Yeah, that has to be very clear. Your 10% is not your contingency, because what tends to happen is people say, I put 10% away and the remaining 90% I'm using it to facilitate my lifestyle. But guess what? Something happens, you can't dip your hand into that 10%. That 10% is for your future. You're paying it forward. Then out of that 90%, you can say maybe another 10% for contingencies and so on and so forth. But you cannot use that savings as your contingency. That savings is your future.
Wow.
Lifestyle.
That's a lot of discipline for anybody who wants to do that. I mean,
it's a tremendous amount of discipline.
I would suggest that you out there, that you do this, and of course you have his Instagram and contact on there, so you might want to send Badamosi here a few messages and he'll be able to put you guys through. Thank you very much for joining us once again.
Welcome. Great to be
Absolutely love the hair. Going to do that next week.
Thank you.
Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way. Let's take a break now. We'll be back with more inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. Now, the Wake Up Nigeria Kitchen on Monday mornings, always bright and beautiful. A really great reason for you to stay right there on your screens is Chef Flora. She's right here making us a garden egg spaghetti stir fry. And we've mentioned the ingredients earlier on, but as you can see, they're quite colorful. I'm wondering what Chef Flora is going to be doing first.
Yeah, we're going to stir fry all the vegetables.
Okay, all right, let's go.
So we are going in with it.
Okay. All right. So those are the green peppers that went in just now. You chose to do the green peppers first.
Okay.
And then in with the carrots. Okay. All right. So before the break, we put in the onions into the oil as well with the bay leaves. I had never seen bay leaves fried directly in oil before. I'd seen them added to stews, soups, jollof rice, pepper soup, but I hadn't seen them fried before. That was the first one for me.
Yeah, it's very good to warm the oil with it. Just in case the oil is not really good enough, it's going to improve the flavor of the...
Okay. So what goes in now? She's putting in a seasoning cube at this point, directly onto the vegetables. And the colors are really nice and shiny, nice, bright and beautiful. I'm really wondering when the garden egg is going to go in there. Is that one of the last things to go in?
We're still going to fry it with the pepper. So we're bringing this out.
Okay. All right, so you're going to take the vegetables out of the pan. I was actually going to ask, won't they, start to get soft if they go in first? But I can see that we're taking them out now at this point. While we're taking these out, let's see once again the ingredients in case you missed it earlier on. Garden egg stir-fry spaghetti, salt, meat, bay leaves, very key there, sausages, bell peppers, cooking oil, garlic cloves, large onion, tomatoes, seasoning cubes, of course. How could we forget the spaghetti? All right. Now, if you have any of these or all of these ingredients at home, you have a really nice dish that you can whip up in your kitchen at any point. All right. So Chef Flora has got all the vegetables out of the pan now. And at this point, we're moving on to the next stage, which is what? What? The pepper mix. Okay, yes. Fantastic.
Oh,
same pan?
Yes.
Oh, a little bit more oil. Okay. So are we trying to fry the pepper essentially? A little bit?
Yes.
All right. So oil is, I think it's warm enough. Yes. Let's, all right. All right. So as you can see, it's a really fluid process here. Nothing too complicated. Now the garden egg has gone into the pan. And now we really are cooking. So I was wondering about the garden egg part. My husband is a big fan of garden egg.
Yeah.
I might be making this one sometime this week.
Yes, it's very, very healthy. It has a lot of health benefits. But it's just that a lot of people don't like eating it when it's raw. Especially children, they don't like it. But it's very, very high in nutrients.
Well, it's a great way to start the week now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, we've got the name right and you've got the game tight by tuning in every single day here on Wake Up Nigeria. Wake up, Nigeria, please!
Yeah, now it's time to get up and make that paper, whether it's in dollar bills or naira notes.
Yeah, let's make it dollar, beg.
Depending on your location or the legal tender, it's all about being that billionaire.
It's hey, coming from the billionaire herself, I mean, hey, you should take that, especially, after all the discussion we had from this morning. We are ready at our jobs, and we have just 45 minutes to go. And so, hey, you're welcome. Oh, by the way, the kitchen is almost done, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I can smell all that beautiful aroma.
Chef Flora has been hard at work in the kitchen there. And when you see that smile on someone's face, you know she's almost done. She's almost done. Breakfast is almost ready.
Oh, I can't wait. Absolutely. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Onyeson. Stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, you also want to send in your comments. We love to read them. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC and download the app, please. Everybody do. Yeah. Whether you belong to Android or Apple, there's no discrimination. We are your brother.
Have a few hacks for those devices. We'll talk about that maybe another time on tech. YouTube is always agog with great clips of past episodes. If you've missed anything or you want to catch up on anything, head there to TVC Entertainment as soon as you can. Now, for what's left on the show.
Yes, let's let you know. We still have a musical performance coming your way. Promising act here, Adidakbo Adirele, popularly known as Sir Derek. He'll be joining us with some crazy tunes. Finally joining us to talk about the business on SME is Ifedayo Durosimiliti, an anchor, a rather author, entrepreneur, and young global leader who has broken several glass ceilings by being part of the Africa Startup Initiative. We can't wait to have a conversation with her.
All right.
So over the weekend, I know we've gone this topic back and forth, but there's something new about Kanye West almost every time.
Yes.
And this time he came up on social media, of course, and it always has to be about his marriage. I'd be like, if you were this, while you were still in it, if you had shown this much interest and this much investment, probably the divorce might not have. You might not have been going through a divorce at this particular point in time. But then he goes up on this rant about TikTok and his daughter and all of that and how he needs them to come to Sunday service. Now that's the issue. And he says, oh, the mom takes them for a sleepover and they can't make Sunday service. I had to move the time for Sunday service to 10 a.m. And then there are shots of a message between him and Pete Davidson. Now, Pete Davidson is supposedly talking to him via a proxy. Another proxy is sending messages and all of that. And, you know, very nasty stuff going on. I'm with your wife. Hey, come, let's... But apparently, Pete Davidson is saying, come, let's talk. And he says, come to Sunday service. And he says, no, let's make it a private meet. I know you love the public. You want all the buzz and all the noise. It's been back and forth. And then, what's his name now? Hugh Lee, this comedian. And nobody was going up against Kanye. And then Kanye fires back and says, and this was a very, very distasteful one. He says, God is not with you, God is with me. Your family hates you, everybody hates you. There's really something wrong with this guy.
Okay, so, I don't know, Titi, have you seen Jesus? That's
no,
the trilogy, his documentary.
No, not yet, not yet.
Now, I've been telling people for the past 2 weeks since after I saw it, when you see Jesus, you'll tentatively forgive Kanye for being that kind of a person. What I hear him doing now is not a husband ranting and not an ex-husband ranting, but I actually hear a father mostly when I listen to whatever it is he's saying now. And I know that feeling, that bleeding feeling when you can't have your children with you as much as you would like. It can drive you mental. Note, this is somebody who has a history of a mental disorder. So you can imagine the kind of spiral this is going to take him through, and that's what I'm seeing. I understand that he has a penchant for being entitled, but let's also add to the fact that this is someone who has a case of being bipolar, and it can be very extreme when it comes to expressions of emotions and all of that, and that's what I see. I do not espouse to everything that he says, especially when it starts to go out on the edge there.
When it comes to the kids, he has always been very vocal about how he wanted his relationship with his kids to be and his kids' relationship with God, as well as the moral standing that he's always wanted them to have. And Kris Jenner has always sort of put a little screen between him and his kids with regards to wanting to put them in a magazine almost half naked at one point. That was when they were still married. So I hear him still giving that same cry for help, even though, of course, we can't really condone the methods he's using.
All right.
You know, but
that's a good one. Yeah, wishing them all the best. It's the news coming right after this.
Well, good to see you again. You're watching the news update on Wake Up Nigeria, and we absolutely appreciate it. I am Kelly Egiga. We begin with reports making the rounds over the exoneration of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has denied these reports, indicating that Abba Kyari has been freed from facing criminal prosecution for alleged money laundering. A statement by the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations Office of the AGF and Minister of Justice Dr. Umaru Gwandu describes the reports as false and that there appears to be misunderstanding regarding the issue. According to the statement, the AGF only requested for further probe in relation to some aspects of the investigations. Dr. Gwandu said that it was clear that the conclusion on the alleged contradiction was a clear case of misconception. The statement insists that no conclusion has been reached in the direction of absence of evidence relating to the first report. He also stated that the issues were raised for further investigation to arrive at an informed decision. And now to other stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has accused the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, and Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Inua, of misleading members of the public over the ongoing tests of its suggested payments platform, University Transparency Accounting System, that's UTAS. This is contained in a statement signed by the President of ASU, Emmanuel Osodeke, on Sunday. The DG of NITDA had, after last week's Federal Executive Council meeting, said the University Transparency Accounting System, UTAS, developed by the union, failed its integrity test. But ASU says the test was still ongoing and that UTAS had passed 529 out of 687 tests, representing 77% performance. The union warns that it would make public the reports of the two technical teams if the alleged misinformation continues. Let's take you outside Nigeria, where Ukrainian officials say dozens of people have been killed as Russian troops launched multiple air raids on a large Ukrainian military facility outside the western city of Lviv near the Polish border. In what appeared to be the westernmost attack since Moscow launched its invasion, Ukraine says up to 30 Russian missiles were fired at a military training base, with at least 35 people killed and 134 others injured. The facility in Yavoriv is used for training with NATO instructors, and it is only about 15 miles from the border with Poland. In the wake of the attack of Western Ukraine, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Sunday said that the U.S. will, quote, defend every inch of NATO territory.
The President has been clear repeatedly that the United States will work with our allies to defend every inch of NATO territory, and that means every inch. And if there is a military attack on NATO territory, it would cause the invocation of Article 5, and we would bring the full force of the NATO alliance to bear in responding to it. Look, all I will say is that if Russia attacks, fires upon, takes a shot at NATO territory, the NATO alliance would respond to that.
Meanwhile, Ukraine police say a U.S. journalist working in Ukraine has been shot dead in the town of Irpin outside Kiev. 50-year-old Brent Renault was a journalist and filmmaker who had previously worked for the New York Times. Kiev's police chief, Andrei Nevitov, says he had been targeted by Russian soldiers. Now, 2 other journalists were injured and taken to a hospital. Now, one of the injured journalists, Juan Arredondo, confirmed to a journalist that he was with Brent Renault when they came under fire. This is the first reported death of a foreign journalist covering the war in Ukraine. And that does it for us here on the news updates at this time. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to stick around here for the rest of the show. Good morning.
Welcome back. Now, last week we celebrated International Women's Day, and it's very clear that over the past few years, a lot more companies, a lot more people are going into areas that can help support women more and more in everything they do. And one of such people is here with us today. Now, on SME this morning, we have Ife Dayoduru Simieti. She's an author, she's an entrepreneur, and she's a global leader who has done what she can to use her heels to break some of those glass ceilings. But what is it she actually does? Off the top of my head, what she has is a company that helps provide funding for young SME owners, especially for females. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right. So there are many different types of business women decide to go into, especially when they have experience in different areas. Let's touch on what you used to do before you started what you do now.
Okay, I'm very excited to even talk about how we even transitioned, because before I even got into full-time entrepreneurship, I hated entrepreneurship because I didn't understand it. I was one of those people who used to say, I'll work in a company and probably retire in that company. And
you were doing that?
Yeah, I was doing that, you know. And then I had a baby, and then when I had the baby, I realized that there was a gap in the market for furniture for children. So I used to see furniture focused on like offices, home, but nothing on kids' furniture. And you have to be specific because things need to be safe and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, let me help a couple of people who don't, you know, who have kids, but they don't have access to, you know, safe furniture for their kids. So we started making furniture for children here in Nigeria. And that's how I got into entrepreneurship. So we started applying for grants just because we wanted our business to scale. And I realized that any opportunity I got, I was seeing the same faces, which were mainly men. So I said, you know what, I need to democratize these opportunities and help more people get access to grants and other opportunities here in Nigeria. And that's how we started AGS Tribe. So that was the first company that we actually started. We started democratizing these opportunities for women and also started giving them access to grants, loans, jobs, opportunities that typically were not in the face of women.
So at that point you saw a gap. You decided to step into that gap. It's a big move, trying to find funding for other people, especially since you knew how hard it was for you to even find the funding yourself for your own small company at the time. What sort of support did you need to get this started? And did you have any doubts at any point?
Oh, yes. I had doubts all the time. Like, it was very, very difficult when we first started because furniture business is big business, right? You need a lot of funding. If you need to hire people, if you need to get a factory, you know, it needs a lot of, you know, capital in the initial stage. So it was very, very difficult for us at the time, but we had mentors, and I was lucky to get into the Tonimelo Entrepreneurship Program, and that gave us like a huge support system that we needed to actually take ourselves to the next level.
I've not actually met too many of the people that have benefited from that particular initiative. I've heard about it over the years, and it's great to hear from someone who successfully was able to come out of that initiative. But then you decided to build one yourself.
Yes.
Now, I know that you don't call it the AGS Tribe anymore. You call it Her Economy.
Yes.
And it's very female-centric. It is International Women's Month for us. So why women?
Oh, God. Like, my story is so funny because growing up, I was very lucky. I was very privileged, and my dad literally did everything for us, right? And my mom also gave up a career. She's a lawyer. You know, she has her master's and everything. She gave up a career to focus on, you know, bringing us up and, you know, ensuring that we're all right. And then 17 years later, she wanted to now start her business, and she realized that she didn't have money to start off her business. She didn't have the savings, and she didn't have, you know, what she needed to take that business to the next level. And I realized that, and also at this point, her and my dad had also split up. So it was very, very difficult for her. She had to struggle. She went through so much at the time. And I was like, this can actually happen to another woman. And for other women, it might not even be that, you know, you split up with your spouse. It might just be, maybe your spouse died. It might be that you want to just contribute to, you know, your family. It might be you want to contribute to society. You know, all kinds of things can happen to you. Why would you leave income generation to only the man in the house? You know, as a woman, you have a way, or you can also contribute to, you know, things around you. So I said, you know what, it ends with me, right? People need to understand that women have things to contribute. And I saw how my mommy struggled and how she came back up from where she was at the time. And it took a while, but she actually came out of it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to help even more women understand that you don't have to necessarily give up your career or your life, you know, to take care of your children. I'm happy for the sacrifices, obviously, that she made and everything, but it's important for people to know that you can, and show them the examples of other women who also have done it successfully, and take, you know, lessons from them on how they were able to achieve those things.
Okay, so I'm thinking about the average SME's goals. You know, they have an end game for the first 2 years, first 3 years, first 5 years, in terms of making profit. What you've decided to do doesn't really feel like that kind of business where you can actually estimate or project how much you're going to make from this. It doesn't feel like one of those very profit-building businesses. It feels very CSR-like. So how is this a social enterprise as opposed to an SME?
It's a social enterprise, and it's actually a business that can actually bring in big money. And it's funny how people always think, oh, it's a CSR business. And it's important for a lot of businesses to start looking at their businesses as social enterprises so that they know that it has to also be impact-driven. And that's what we've been able to do, right? So basically, some of the ways that we make money is through subscriptions, right? So we have a community, and the community is free and paid. So even with the free people on free, we also give them value, and we also get value for them. So for example, people pay for advertising. We have over 15,000 members in our community. And you know that these are credible people, professionals who also have access to some sort of disposable income. If people want to put their products in the faces of these women, they come to meet us to advertise. Also, we also have subscription, like I said, where people get access to discounts and all of that, things that they would do to also save money for themselves. And if you pay that subscription, you'll be able to do that, you know. So there's so many ways that, you know, we can generate an income. So people need to also start thinking of different ways that you can impact the lives of people and also generate income for your own self as a business. Because there's no point, you know, necessarily, if you're not starting out as a charitable business, there's no point, you know, just doing everything for free, because you can't scale that way.
Okay. So speaking of scaling, I'm trying to think of how you're, you know, going to scale this up later on. I'm wondering how you scale up such a business. It does feel like, obviously, there are so many SMEs owned by women, run by women, not essentially successful in the long run. So talk to us about some of those things you're putting in place to establish sustainability.
Fantastic. Firstly, our team. And that's the first thing even investors look at when you're actually taking your business to the next level. We have such a solid team. We have someone who has joined us from Deloitte. We have somebody who has joined us from the banks. We have people who work with us, who even volunteer with us from all over the world to ensure that what we're doing is actually, sustainable and we're actually profitable as well. Another thing we are also doing is we've also raised money, we've raised capital for our business, and the way we raised it was also a powerful story. For example, or how it happened was because people have seen the traction and the impact we've made so far since we started in 2018, when it was time for us to raise money for our business, we're able to raise $600,000 in 24 hours.
Wow.
And that had never been done before. And most of it came from our community members who are women, right? So these are women who understand what we're doing, and they know that, okay, they've benefited from it. We offer capacity building sessions, and all of these are free to our members.
It's mind-blowing. And I have to say, starting up something like this, you wouldn't expect one individual to do that. I'm not going to say one woman. I'm going to say one individual to do that. Do you have partners, people who have collaborated with you and things like that to make this happen?
Oh, yes. We've had so many partners along the way, from the likes of, Providence Bank to Platform Capital. So many banks have supported us, throughout this journey. Apart from even banks, even individuals. Some people have, said, you know what, Ife, I believe in what you're doing. This is what I want to do to support women. Recently, we gave out a grant to a female baker, right? That came from Macadams. So there's so many organizations who see the good in what we're doing and who know that we have this platform of credible people. So if they want to also give out grants, they come to us. Even Facebook last year reached out to us and said, we are giving out grants to SMEs who have, struggled throughout the pandemic, and we know that you have a community. We want to engage them.
So there's a young SME owner watching right now.
Yes.
And she's probably doubting herself. She's probably wondering, how do I go about this? Would they listen to me? What sort of criteria do you look out for when bringing on new members?
So I would say do it afraid. You have to be a person of value for other people to also listen to you and think about you when an opportunity comes up, right? So be a person of value, build your own personal brand, build a fantastic footprint. Last week, we gave out awards to women all over the country who are doing amazing things, right? And we got judges from the World Bank, from the IFC, from even Nigeria, right, who looked at the profiles of these people. And one thing stood out for me. A lot of the people who won were people who were more visible.
Wow.
And these
are social media, online platforms.
It is super, super important. Build yourself, because that's the only way. And the truth is that you might think this recognition, it's just a recognition. No, I don't really need it. But it actually makes a difference in your career. Yes, so it's important.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that the business is visible. Obviously, if people can't see your business online, it's as if your business doesn't exist.
Yes.
It also gives you credibility and I guess now our CV is not as important as our online footprint.
Yeah.
And your online footprint is amazing as well.
Thank you.
I've been looking out for you, and I see amazing things all the time. Thank you so much for coming to share your journey with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
At this point, another short journey for you to take from here to the kitchen. Our chef has been working really hard on something really special, and it has to do with garden eggs and spaghetti. Have you ever had a combination of those two before? Never?
Never.
Well, you're going to taste it today. Please join us in the kitchen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then. Please go ahead. Go ahead. All right.
You are
this
welcome.
Is your seat right here.
Do seat.
Yeah. All right.
Good to have you here. Great work you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it.
So much.
So I and Chef Flora have worked tirelessly to bring you this delicious dish. And we hope that you enjoy. Actually, it's Titi and Chef Flora. Wanted to take all the shine. But Chef Flora, please do tell what it is we have here today.
I guess we have a garden egg stir-fried spaghetti, just to make a difference.
Looks so yummy. Like, I'm already loving the sausages. And you can't really tell where the garden egg is, but I want to hear from you if you taste the garden egg. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Because I'm so interested in the garden egg part of this. You wouldn't know there's garden egg in this sauce. You wouldn't know.
What you think? Nice, isn't
Yummy.
it?
Oh, that's the word.
Chef Flora's done it again.
And that's really, really yummy, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Chef Flora.
Thank you, Chef Flora.
It's been an amazing way to start the week right here on Wake Up Nigeria, don't you think, Mazina?
Yes, it has, it has. But to crown this moment every single morning, here with us, Mr. Mike Mesikeno always has a word of wisdom. And I hope after all this hype, he has something real good for us today.
Okay, listen. Listen. I just want to give a big shout out to Olamide. Olamide, it's great to have you back at work.
Very true.
Yes.
Olamide,
I love you
back.
very much. We love you. And we'll talk about this later, but ensure you have an Olamide in your life, everyone. That's all. See you tomorrow. Bye.
It has to be the Olamide, not the Badu.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad though. Use as sports analyst, healthcare, relationship, everything. Expert of all, and our producer also.
Good one. Thank you very much, Mike, for that one. Actually, that skipped my mind. Thank you for remembering to do that. But in all, it's been a great Monday. Thank you very much for being a part of this. We look forward to seeing you guys or you seeing us tomorrow for a Tuesday edition. Bye-bye.
7 a.m., y'all. Bye.